Okay, I know we're in September now, unfortunately. I know. But I want to squeeze in just one last summer recipe. Trust me, this is a good one. Hello everyone and welcome back to the You Wanna Bite Kitchen. Today's recipe is a chocolate eclair no-bake icebox cake. I know we're technically in September, but the temperatures, at least near me, are still in the 80s, and with the Labor Day weekend coming up, I thought there might be some last-minute dessert needs for a barbecue or anything really. It is just 5 ingredients: a box of graham crackers, 2 boxes of French vanilla pudding, Cool Whip, chocolate icing, and milk. You can definitely substitute any of the store-bought ingredients for a homemade version, but sometimes you just want a quick and easy dessert and the end result is so good regardless, so just do what works for you. This whole cake can pretty much be put together in under 10 minutes, but the hard part is waiting the hours for it to set up in the fridge, so let's not waste any time and get started. Start off by emptying the 2 boxes of pudding mix into a large bowl. I use French vanilla instant pudding because I feel like the flavor is a little more intense, but plain vanilla would work just fine. Next, add 3.5 cups of milk into the same bowl right on top of the pudding. I use whole milk here for a more rich flavor and consistency, but again, I'm sure another variety of milk would work here as well. Then you need to beat the milk and the pudding mix together. I use a handheld electric mixer because, of course, it just makes things easier. You're going to want to mix this for about 2 minutes. You'll see it starts to become a bright yellow color and it'll get thicker to look like pudding. You can stop once everything is combined and it is thick, 3 C's at least. Thick, you know what I mean? Now it's time to fold in the Cool Whip. So you're going to need 12 ounces of room temperature Cool Whip. Make sure you leave this out on the counter a bit before you start this, because if you microwave it, it's going to lose its whippedness and it'll become runny. Fold in the Cool Whip gently to maintain as much volume as you can, and eventually everything will become a cohesive pale yellow color. You can stop once there are no more obvious streaks of Cool Whip or pudding. And this is the inside of our cake. It's finally time to assemble. So in a 9 by 13 inch pan, cover the bottom with 1 layer of graham crackers. This cake has 2 layers of filling, so add half of the pudding mix to this first layer. Smooth it all over the graham crackers, reaching all the way into the corners, and make it nice and even. Top this first layer of pudding with another layer of graham crackers just like before. Then the final layer of filling goes on top, so use all the rest of the pudding mix over this graham cracker layer, doing the same thing as before to smooth it over and make it even. Finally, you have to add 1 last layer of graham crackers, and this one you're going to want to have as few gaps as possible so the icing doesn't seep through the whole cake. So fill up any spaces with some broken up graham crackers. For the icing, you can totally make your own chocolate ganache, but since this recipe is all about ease and convenience, I'm using store-bought. I microwaved this for about 30 seconds and then checked on it, but it was still a little bit chunky. So after another 15 seconds in the microwave, it was perfect and runny, which is just what you need to pour it on smoothly. Pour the whole carton of icing out on top of the cake, and you can smooth it over to the corners using an offset spatula. Then it's time for the hardest part of the whole recipe, which is waiting for it to set up in the fridge overnight. I know that 8 hours is a long time to wait for cake, but trust me, this is worth it. Look at how luscious it is. So it's time for the taste test. I already know it's delicious, but I already knew it. I already know. Today's one of those days where I'm having dessert before dinner. It is so light and airy, and it's really easy to eat a really giant piece or more than one piece. I cannot stop. Anyone else have weird habits when they eat food? Like, I'm eating it and trying to keep it in a nice little rectangle shape instead of just digging in. I don't know. That was a close one. As always, thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do that so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos, and leave me a comment letting me know if you want a bite of this Eclair cake.